When Dreamweaver comes up, it may come up like this with a little dialog that asks you to manage sites. So you can click the Manage Sites button, or check this out, cancel. Going here is just like going to Manage Sites, or Site, Manage Sites, or in this drop down in the Files panel, Manage Sites. So there are at least 4 different ways that you can get into the Manage Sites dialog. And once in, I'm going to hit New to create a new site. And just take note of the window. There are categories down on the left. And right now we're in the site category. And I'm going to give my site a name. I'm going to call it Jordiculas. Local site folder. This is where your local files are going to be. So in my particular case, I have a Web Design 1 folder, and I'm just going to select it. And I went too far, so let me delete students. And another thing that I need to do now that I've defined told Dreamweaver where my local files are, I need to define a server. This is my host. This is going to be the information that I put in that tells Dreamweaver how to connect to my server so that it can put files up to it. So now that I'm on the Servers tab, I'll hit the plus to add a new server and give your server a name. Again, this is an arbitrary name just like your site name. I'm going to call it Jordiculas. Connect using FTP. The FTP address is I hope. My username, and fill in your password. This is the information that would have been sent to you from 000 webhost or whatever hosting company you're using. And once you've entered that information, you should hit test. And if you get a dialog like this, just unblock. And this is a good sign. Dreamweaver connected to your web server successfully. Anything other than that just simply means that you did not put in your FTP address correctly, or your username or password. Okay, now I want to point out the fact that for 000 web host users, there's this root directory that you need to put in so that you connect to the right place. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything with the root directory. I'm going to just hit save and show you that I've defined a site in Dreamweaver. Done. And the way that I can connect to it is through this Files panel. There's this little button right here that if you move over it, there's a tooltip that says expand to show local and remote sites. And here it is again. So I want you to see that it toggles this view back and forth. Now, those of you who've been using FileZilla, this is a similar kind of thing, except that your local and remote servers have been flipped. Your remote server is on the left side, your local files are on the right. So here's a bunch of my files for my web design class, and it's telling me on the left hand side to connect to the remote server, click this button, and that's intended to be like a socket, like an electrical socket. And here it is. It's on this menu, on this toolbar. And once I've connected, all my remote server files populate. Now, on 000 web host, there's a special folder called public_HTML, and that's where you're going to need to put all of your content. If you don't put it there, you won't be able to see it on the web. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back into my Dreamweaver site definition by hitting Manage Sites, and then choosing my site, Jordiculas, and Edit. and I'm going to the servers category, and here's my Jordicola server, and I want to edit that server. And down here in the root directory, I need to put public underscore HTML test. Always test. I got a successful test, that's okay. Save, and done. Now watch what happens when I connect. I'm now linked directly to my public underscore HTML folder. So that's how to define a site in Dreamweaver and connect to your public underscore HTML folder on 000 web host. And if you have a different server that you're connecting to, the principles are the same. Just connect either to the root folder or to one of the subfolders under the root that is appropriate for your situation.